We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. Arkansas Traveler, Chet Atkins.
Okay, there's no way I can play an example of that. Chet, like Eddie Cochran, more so really, his stuff was just incredible. I mean, the stuff he could play, I aspire to reach that point knowing that I'll never make it. Just like with Les Paul, I'll never be that good. But I sit around the house and do little Chet things, just for the fun of it, just for my own enjoyment, like trying to play Mr. Sandman, easy to do.
So you need to be a finesse player to be...
Very much so. Very much so. And you need to have better strings than I've got on right now. These are dead. To be able to do the Chet style, I mean, it takes a lot of practice. You got to be a whole lot more proficient with a thumb pick. I can't play with a thumb pick to save my life. But I incorporate a lot of the Chet style. It seems like it just comes subconsciously, I guess. The band will be playing a show, and I'll take a solo, and where you would least expect it, here comes one of these little... Like, well, there that is again. These people are going to get tired of that before too long. But I've actually had people come up and say that it sounded good, and which is a compliment I'll always take, because it seems like singing is natural for me, but the guitar playing is something I really have to work at. It's
okay.
It's something that I have to really practice at, whereas singing I can do in my sleep, in the shower, wherever.
You mentioned what thumb picks. Well, what can you give us a quick education on a good thumb pick?
I've got a Herco thumb pick, a couple of them around here somewhere, that's actually, well, it's hard to describe for radio, but it's got the shape of a standard pick, but it's molded to where it'll wrap around your thumb. So it's sort of a cross of an old thumb pick and just a standard flat pick. Which the flat pick I just use these regular old Fender picks, but I don't use the pointy end. I use one of the I guess you call it the blunt end. Just, there's less there, and I can get a better attack. Not that it speeds me up, Lord knows, because I try to speed up and I start sounding like I'm tripping and falling everywhere, But I just use the blunt end because it just seems to I can seem to work a little faster that way.
Okay. We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. Rocking at the Philharmonic, Chuck Berry.
That's just a cool instrumental. I mean, Chuck done a lot of great stuff, obviously. But that song, I remember, was on one of his albums. I think it was on One Dozen Berries. Cute play on words, I know. But, I mean, that album had things like Sweet Little 16 on it. I can't remember if Johnny B. Good was on that album or not. Back then, on some of Chuck's albums, he'd have, out of the 12 songs, there might be 3 or 4 instrumentals. That was on that album, and it's just a cool swinging thing. It's the rock and roll era, but it almost has a pre-rock and roll, almost a swing era type thing going on. And I can't really play the song without the accompaniment itself. But I mean, he's just bebopping on his guitar, I mean, it's just a good swing arrangement. And his piano player, I think that was Johnny Johnson, if I'm remembering his name correctly. If not, I apologize to Barry fans out there. I'm supposed to know this sort of thing. I try to keep up with it anyway. But I mean, they're just, and they got the slap bass going, which a lot of these songs on my list have somebody slapping an upright bass on them instead of an electric bass.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a sound that is stuck with me probably almost, if not as much as electric guitar. I just love to hear that clickety-clack going on in the background, because it's a good percussive instrument as well as holding down the bottom end.
Well, you just brought up a good point a minute ago about you've got your front man guitarist, lead guitarist, but you've got those behind them. One is really no important than the other because you got to have your backup guys, right?
Exactly right. A band, in my opinion, is only as good as the rhythm section, the bass player and the drummer. With our band, I mean, we've got a couple of good guys that work very well together, considering their age-wise, they're at the opposite ends of the spectrum. Our drummer's 18, and our bass player, I don't know how old he is. He's in his 60s anyway. Mm-hmm. And they come from diverse backgrounds. Bass player, he's an old honky-tonker. He loves the Ray Price two-steps, which all that is to me is a country shuffle. Mm-hmm. It and a blues thing, a blues shuffle, are just like that. I really think that. And then our drummer, he's big into Leonard Skinner and stuff like that. I mean, he was born after the plane went down, but he's really into that sort of thing. So, I mean, and then our piano player, he's into piano, obviously. And then I'm into the stuff I'm into. But it all comes together very well. And a band is only as good as the sum of its parts. And I hope I said that right.
We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. Okay, the one-note samba, Herb Ellis.
That one I'm not even going to attempt. Actually, it's just, I've got several years ago, I bought an album of Herb Ellis. It was recorded like back in the very early 60s. There was him on the guitar, and then he'd have one of these happening bebopping drummers, you know, and then a bass player, and usually like somebody playing the vibraphone or something. Mm-hmm. And it was just some smooth, some of these weird chords. I mean, you know, most guitar players, you know, you'd hit an E chord, but he'd hit something like, you know, just anything different, you know. And I mean, all kind of what I call them $4 chords, because they're expensive, they're hard to handle. I can listen to it still and think, man, I wish I could do that. And I bought that album like 20 years ago. But I mean, even simple things. There's a song on there called John Brown's Body, and it's just let's see, it's got these vibes going, the swinging drums. All of a sudden, here he comes, you know. Some of this smooth, almost like, yeah, let's put on a tuxedo and drink martinis, you know, that sort of thing.
Good deal. We're here with Scott Williams today, guitarist from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, going through his guitar picks. Gone, 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 Carl Perkins.
Gone, 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 the song, it amazes me because it's another one of those that was recorded at Sun Records in Memphis. Mm-hmm. It amazes me because it starts out at one tempo, and by the time they get to the end of it, they've picked up considerably. But I mean, he's got his guitar going, and he's got a slap bass man, and they've got a drummer, but he's pretty much just playing with brushes. He's not playing loud at all. Mm-hmm. And if you listen faintly, he was still kind of a country artist at that time. In the background, you hear a fiddle every now and then coming through, but it just every now and then. That's all you're getting, you know. But most times it's Carl's guitar and his if he's even got a rhythm guitar player on there, I don't remember hearing it. But I mean, he's got his guitar going, and it's just one of those energetic things. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall at that session. I could just see Carl just bopping around the studio, you know, because it was. I mean,
you had to be there.
Yeah. It's just a 3-chord rockabilly thing, but it's just got the energy, though. Well, that must be my gal. Yours don't look like that. That must be my gal. Yours don't look like that. I know my baby. She's so round and fat. Some women don't like that line. I used to sing that one for my ex-wife, and I dedicated it to her and then sing it, and she got the joke. But some of these other women come up and say, "What is he trying to say? That didn't sound very nice." It just had to be there. Just had to be there.
That's right.